In class 11 business studies, we are on chapter 10 international business, international trade we can say, and in this chapter already I explained you the meaning of international business, difference between domestic and international trade. And in previous class, in yesterday's class, I explained you the scope of international business and benefits of international business. And the benefits divide in two parts, that is for nation and for business firms. So international trade is useful for nation, for business firms, as well as for common people or for consumers, for customers also, for society also. So yesterday we completed that part. Now today I am going to start. Today I am going to start the modes of international trade. How you can enter in international business. Okay, there are various ways to enter in other country, to deal with different countries. Okay, so there are various ways. Today I am going to show you this by different slides also. So you will be able to do these, write the answers. See, modes of entry into international business. Modes of entry means ways of entry. If you want to do international business, deal with different countries, there are various ways. Not only import and export. See, as I told you, we can export or import tangible, intangible. Okay, tangible means goods and services, goods which have physical existence. Tangible means we can see, we can touch, but intangible means the services which we can feel but cannot see and touch. Okay, so export and import of goods and services, then contract manufacturing, licensing and franchising, joint ventures, wholly owned subsidiaries. See again, exporting and importing. Export means send or sell to other countries. Import means buy from other countries. Contract manufacturing means manufacturing on the basis of some contract and deed or deal or basis. Okay, I will explain you, don't worry. Licensing and franchising. Yesterday I explained you, like McDonald's is giving franchising. So anyone can use their name, logo, brand, etc. Then joint venture. See, joint venture means two similar business firms can merge, okay, and do the joint venture. And wholly owned subsidiaries means the complete own. Now, first is export and import. The first way of entering into international business is export and import. Export means sell to other countries. If India sells spices to European countries, that is export. And if we are importing, if we are buying electrical appliances from China, that is import. See, not only goods can be export and import, services can also be export and import. Okay, so tangible and intangible both can be sent to other countries. and buy from other countries. Okay, like in India, Japan is helping in metro, that is also taking services. Now, see, banking, transportation, insurance, travel and tourism. Yesterday I gave you that example. Now the first is entry into international business. First is how to enter into international business. The first is international trade or international business. The first is, which is main, export and import. Export and import. This is the first and major way of entering into international business. Now, export refers to sending of goods and services for sale from the home country to foreign countries. Okay? Export means sending, giving, selling goods and services. Both. Goods means those things which have physical existence, like this. This pen drive made in Korea. We use in India, we buy it. This is good. And Zoom, they are providing us services. Okay? Now, we can take from other countries. Like iPhone, you can purchase from other, which is manufacturing in other country, but we are using it in India. Same way, goods and services both can be sold to other countries and just reverse of it. Importing means purchasing of goods and services from foreign countries for domestic use. Just now I gave you the example of iPhone and Zoom, Facebook. These are the services. Okay, you can take the services of banks, insurance companies, etc. Same here. Indian companies are also giving services. Outsourcing services are famous. India's outsourcing services. So we can export it. So export and import is the main way, major method to enter into export and import business. Now, what are the advantages of exporting and importing compared with other modes? Various modes are there to enter into international business. Like Walmart, they enter in India not through export and import. Okay, so various ways are there. McDonald's, Coke, Pepsi, all are multinational companies, but they are giving services in all over the part of the world. So what are the advantages, benefits of export and import business? Compare with other modes. See, other modes, just now I gave you the names. On that, I'll explain you. First is less complexity. See, in export and import business, not too much paper formalities or complexity is there. You just see the website, place the order, make the payment, get the goods. Simple. See the website, place the order, make the online payment, get the goods. Over. This is import. Same here, export. The person who is living in any corner of the world will see your website online, send the inquiry, place the indent. First he will do the inquiry, then place the indent, okay? And after placing the order, you will send the quotation. Before quotation, then order, indent, then you will supply the goods, get the payment. Okay, so that is not much complex process. It's easy to do export and import, but you should have license. Okay, now less investment. Why we can say less investment? My dear children, please tell me why we can say that export and import requires less investment. Because when you get the indent, means order, then you will be start manufacturing the products. So the production will start after getting orders. That's why it requires less investment. Got it? Less investment required because no need to maintain huge stock, no need to get the raw material in bulk quantity. If the organization will get the order of export indent, in which we can say, then you will start the manufacturing the products. Okay. Now less risk. Less risk means the businessman will have very less risk. Why less risk? Because it does not require huge investment. There is no possibility of loss due to change in fashion, technology, customers' demand, preference, because first you get the order. Then, and see, less risk because in international business, banks also give guarantee. Okay, guarantee of payment, which we can say. So this is less risky. Now see, limitations. See, if we have benefits means advantages, less complexity, less investment, less risk. Less risk because first we get the order, then we start the production. So there is no possibility of risk, more risk. Comparison is there. Then it has some drawbacks also. What are the drawbacks of export and import? Okay, please tell me. First, high cost. High cost because goods may be damaged in transit. That's why packaging is necessary. Packaging is little bit more costlier because in India, if you will supply the goods, will be the less chances of damage. But for abroad, export and import, there will be more chances of goods damage in transit. That's why packaging requires. Then transportation. In domestic trade, you can supply the goods to roadways and railways. Roadways and railways are easily available for domestic trade. But for international business, for export and import, the transportation modes are costly. Because airways, waterways, both are little bit costly than domestic trade. That's a high cost. And insurance is necessary. Nowadays, so no countries enter into the international business without giving the insurance facilities. So, water insurance, we can say sea insurance, okay, and in international business, the insurance cost is very high because the risk factor is high here. Goods may be damaged in transit. If you are sending goods from here to Germany, that will take time also. And custom duty. See, custom duty is high, that's why the product cost will be high. So it is costly process. Then import restrictions. As you know, nowadays Indian government ban on various Chinese products also, Chinese app also. Same here. If you want to enter into international business, maybe some restrictions are there for various products in different countries. See, in India, you can see the Chinese products are banned. Same restrictions may be there in any country for any product. It depends. Then, less direct contact with the foreign market. The importer is sending you the order. in debt, and you are supplying the goods accordingly. But the exporter don't know, exporters generally don't know about what is the foreign market, what is the rate going on. They don't have direct contact with the buyer, with the importer also. That is the problem the generally export and import business will have, that they don't have contact with each other. They met only online, not face to face. And if there will be problem in payment mechanism, you cannot catch the importer. He will be sitting in any corner of the world. Okay, that's the problem, that there is no direct contact between the buyers and sellers. Okay, so export and import means sell the goods to other countries. Import means purchase the goods from foreign countries. Advantages, it is less complexity, less investment is required, less risky. But see, everything has some limitations. So it is high cost, it requires high cost, it import restrictions, less direct contact with the foreign market. Problem, as I am telling you, fraud and cheating possibilities will always be high. Goods damage in transit, risk in payment. Okay, so few risks are there, that is possible in every. Now next, contract manufacturing. I will explain you export-import process later on in second part. First of all, we are studying the MOSH. So second is contract manufacturing. That is the main reason of development of China. They are manufacturing various products on the basis of contract for different brands. So contract manufacturing. See, company enters into a contract with a local manufacturer in a foreign country. This is the new way of entering into any country of the world. A company enters, make a contract, make a deal, agreement with the local manufacturer in the foreign country, so anyone can enter there. See, it depends on the government policy also. The contract is for getting certain components or goods produced as per specification given. It is also called outsourcing. In your city, you can see hanging bridge. That is also with the help of Korean company. Same Japanese company is helping in making metro projects. Various projects are going on in India where foreign countries, companies enter and make a contract and deal it. See, in India, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, they are providing software services, hardware services, okay, call center services, BPO, KPO to other countries. This is known as outsourcing. So other country, anyone from any country can get this benefit. Okay, so contract is as per specification. Now how to make contract manufacturing? What are the forms? What are the ways? First of all, first, production of certain components only. Certain components only, like, give you the example. Like iPhone is giving, yes, cell phone battery, iPhone's battery, Apple company give the this production of certain component to China. to some other country. They are taking software from some other countries, okay, giving facilities of advertisement to some other country. So certain components they can give on the basis of, like Honda, Hero Honda, they merged now. So Honda company gave that some advanced technological base for production to Honda, to Japanese company. So certain components, assembling of components into final products, like Maruti, they are assembling various products and make a new car. And they assemble, in chapter 1 I gave you the types of industry. In that, assembling industry was there. Assembling means various different products combined to make a new product, then complete manufacture of the product. Complete means the final product. One by one, I will discuss it. See, Hero and Honda came into join, and that is known as merger. Okay. Now in merging, certain components are producing in Japan. Then they come into India and they assemble. And even Hero Cycle, they complete manufacture the product here. So it depends on the terms and conditions. It depends on their contract. It depends on their agreement. Whether they want to produce a certain component in other country, where they want to assemble different products from made by different countries, and either they can make complete product at home. Now, merits of contract manufacturing. Just now I gave you the example. Tata Jaguar is also the example. Various companies we can give the example of that. Merits of contract manufacturing. Goods can be produced on large scale without any investment. Goods can be produced on large scale without any investment. See, Hero and Honda. Honda invested and made some part in their country. Then up to there will be no investment. Same here, if the Japanese company is helping in making metro projects, so initial investment is there. The less investment requirement or by the Indian government, so there will be less risk. Getting products with lower material and labor cost. See, India is famous in outsourcing and providing software services because we have this facility at lower labor cost. The cost is generally less. Utilization of idle capacity of the manufacturer. Manufacturers are having more capacity, but they are unable to do on the domestic basis. So for utilization of complete capacity, full capacity, they can depend on international business. They can get the orders from the international business and produce accordingly. Then producers may get export incentives from the government also. See, Special Economic Zones, SEZ, Export Process Zones, EPZs, are set up by the Indian government. Tax holidays are also given by the Indian government if the company is exporting. See, the main aim of Indian government is, what is the main aim? Export promotion, import substitution. So those companies who are helping the Indian and helpful for growth in GDP, they export the goods to other countries. And import substitution means government says that we should produce. Self-reliant is necessary. But some limitations are also there. Quality problem. If you are getting the products from the international business, from international firm, from other country, there may be chances. There may be chances of quality problem. Okay. See, initial that hanging bridge collapsed. Maybe some wrong, poor quality raw material was there. No freedom in the production process. See, if you are in contract manufacturing and making the agreement and work, you have to work according to the deal, according to the terms and conditions, according to the specification. Whatever they want, you have to supply them. No freedom to sell. They have some terms and conditions, and accordingly they have to deal that. So today we completed export and import, entry into international business, export and import. Then second day is contract manufacturing. Contract manufacturing means product some certain components, assemble them or make the complete product in that country. Many benefits are there. See, contract manufacturing is very useful for both the countries, for service provider and for service takers, both. Okay, so because they can use their extra ideal capacity, which is not using in the domestic, they can use in international business, and you can get the benefit of lower material and labor cost, which is not available. Even if the contract manufacturing we can produce, any country can produce those goods which are not possible in the country, like metro. Okay, so various advanced technological products can also be get by contract manufacturing. But some limitations are always there, as I told you. There will be maybe the problem of quality, because after getting payment they are not responsible. And there is will be no freedom, because according to the terms and conditions you have to do that work. So I am sure you all will be able to understand the ways which I explain you, export and import and contract manufacturing.